It's showing us that in the face of crisis comes innovation and change,
Welcome to the Waking Up to Win podcast with Realty One Group. As we mentioned previously, our objective is to be your one resource and your guide and to assist in navigating you through this situation. Personally, when I think of a guide, a mentor, and an advisor, I can't think of a person more trusted and experienced than our one guest today, Mr. Vinny Tracy. Vinny, thank you so much for being here today. If you would, Vinny, tell us a little bit about your story and the industry storms you've weathered.
Well, thanks, Mark. I really appreciate being on with you. And, what you really meant to say is he's the old guy. Mark, I got into the business, can you believe it? It's 43 years ago. It was 1977. And as a result of being in so long, I've lived through 4 recessions in the business. The first one was back in 1980, and it lasted for about 6 months. And everybody wants to know what the causes of the recessions were. Well, this one was caused by raising interest rates to combat inflation. I remember it very well because I remember what the interest rate was. I bought my first house in 1980, and my interest rate was 13 7/8%. And I actually felt kind of lucky because I had friends that had interest rates of 16, 17, and 18%. So that was pretty wild. 8 years later, 9 years later, 1990 to 91 was the savings and loans crisis. And that ran from basically June or July of 1990 through March of 91. And what we found is unemployment peaked at 7.8%. So now, almost 10 years later, in 2001, we had a bust happen. It was called the dot-com bust. And that lasted basically for 8 months, March through November or December. But it was also worsened because we had something called 9/11. And the good part about that is the country was resilient, and we were able to bounce back by December of 2001 after that unbelievable tragedy. 6 years later, yes, the Great Recession. Who doesn't remember that? 2008. Actually started late in 2007. I think it was November or December of 2007. And we came out of it in the third quarter of 2009. But we really had a hangover until 2011. It was really something. I always remember talking to realtor groups and saying in 2008, 9, and 10, the market you see today is the market you're going to see next year. And again, the subprime mortgage crisis was the trigger, and that created a global bank credit crisis. And then you start to look at natural disasters that we've all lived through, like hurricanes, Katrina, Andrew, Sandy. There have been tornadoes that have devastated parts of the United States. So we've all lived through these things.
Wow, that is quite a list, my friend. So of those experiences, what would you compare this current situation to?
I'm not sure you can really compare it. We're charting new ground day by day. I suppose in one way, it's kind of like 9/11 in that it was a catastrophe. But after 9/11, I said before, we bounced back after only a few months. But I do look at some similarities. During 9/11 and what I'm seeing today, there's been a lot of respect and heartwarming acts of kindness. The people in our communities have just been fantastic. Our spirit is going to defeat the doubt and worry, I guess we all feel, with unfamiliar problems and challenges. In a recession, my experience tells me people became bitter when they feel their fate was caused by a bank or Wall Street. This has a different feel to it, for me at least. No one knows how quickly we're going to come out of this, but I do applaud, the quick response from governments really around the world with economic stimulus packages. And again, that's what brought us out of the Great Recession in 2008 through 2010 or 11. That remains to be seen, but I think I think we're going to come out of this thing as quickly as possible.
So, Vinny, as president of our organization, you oversee the franchise sales team. In world conditions such as those we're experiencing now and how it impacts the market, what do you see as the greatest value of being associated with a well-respected, professionally orchestrated franchise? In other words, what's the greatest value of being supported by a brand?
That's a great question. It's our tools and resources. But I think our one community is the real key to this. Knowing you're not alone, it's our people sharing their ideas and experiences. We're all in this together. Our job as a franchisor is to facilitate the interaction. I don't know of any other organization that's communicating as often. It's showing us that in the face of crisis comes innovation and change. Who would have thought we'd be doing town hall meetings, agent training, interviews with prospective associates, or even open houses virtually? I mean, I couldn't even imagine that 2 weeks ago. This is going to be our new norm. Zoom, Facebook Live, Google Hangouts, they're really a beautiful thing. We even have agent mastermind groups brainstorming ideas across North America right now.
So when it comes right down to it, what would you say is our secret sauce?
It's our you first focus. It's knowing who your customer is. We're an agent and broker-centric company. We've always been that way. Our agents are our brand. Those are our customers. It's not the consumer. Our job is to provide them with the tools and resources to make their jobs easier.
I definitely agree with that. The agent is the brand. So what steps can an agent take today to ensure they own the market in the boom that is coming?
Relationships are paramount. Relationships are about caring and trust. Don't get caught up in the negativism. Stay away from the political conversations. The key right now is to engage your spheres of influence. People judge you by your actions. Get involved in the community. Deliver meals or snacks to young parents locked down with their kids. That's one of mine right now. My son and his wife, they've got 2 little ones, 2 years old and 3 months old, and they can't get out of the house. So for us and for my wife, when we drop something by the house, they really appreciate that. Offer to go shopping or pick up prescriptions for your elderly neighbors or church members. That's how we get involved. On a professional level, this is a great time to learn and master the tools Realty One Group offers. Many people have been busy and they've been too busy to explore what we have. And I think this is a great time to do that. And also think about opportunities where the business may go. In times of distress, we have seen the rise of foreclosures. So why don't you become the expert? Get your certified distressed property designation, or as we all know it as a CDPE. And remember, in 2008, we went from selling 7 million homes a year to 4 million homes. The successful agents that thrived didn't get caught up in the loss of the 3 million properties. They hustled and sold the other 4 million. So stay positive and focused. Help your neighbors and your customers. And at the end, this is what's going to ensure you coming out and dominating. As you've heard in the song before, the sun will come out tomorrow. You can bet your bottom dollar. So that's where we are. Let's come out and let's thrive.
Vinny, this is why you are the respected leader that you are. True words of wisdom spoken by the master of relationships. We can't thank you enough for your time, energy, passion, and wisdom today. I must tell you that not only is it an honor to work alongside you each day, it's also a heck of a lot of fun, even in these times.
Mark, I love you and I love our organization. Thanks, my friend.
For those of you who want to know more and investigate how to build strong, memorable relationships that endure the test of time, we have some recommended learning tracks for you. Visit our online university 1.u and search for the following courses: 101 Ways to Build Better Relationships with Customers by Peter Garber, Business at the Speed of Now by John Bernard, and The Power of Presence, Unlock Your Potential to Influence and Engage Others by Christy Hedges. And remember, friends, together we will achieve greater success faster.